there are three things for every single aspect Islamically. There are three things: time, place, and person. What's this related with education? What's time, place, person related with education? One, we're going to talk about, and this is what I'm going to break the talk to, inshallah. One is time. You're living through two things. One is university, the fact that this university, 3-4 years that you have. Secondly, you're living through a stage of life, youth, where, like Islamically, is from whenever age of puberty, 14, 15, 16 years old, all the way till about the age of 30. That's your youth. And these youth years are different to any other time of the year, any other time of your life. And then the second thing, the place, the university, the campus. And the third thing, the person, you as an individual. What motivates you? Why are you here? What are you going to do to make sure that you are different? Your university experience is different to anyone else. What are you going to gain from university? What do you hope to gain from university? Time. This phase, this youth, Allah Azza wa Jal gave it difference to every other phase. The Prophet ﷺ told us, he said that do not make advantage or take advantage of 5 things before 5 things. And he spoke about this youth and this phase of youth and young age before old age. Because there's almost a certainty that you are living this phase today, 18, 19, 20, tomorrow, who knows? You might not even be here. Who knows? You might hit the old age. Today, I was out shopping with my sister, I was holding my nephew with me, and this old lady came to me and she was like, "Oh, this cute, your son." I said, "No, it's my nephew." And then she was like, "Oh yeah, you must be from white people and their talks," which is nice, cute. And then she said to me, "Oh, how old are you?" I was like, 26. And she was like, "I remember yesterday I was 26. I was like, "How old are you now?" She goes, 74. 48 years like yesterday. But the reality for her is that time, it's a blink of an eye. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla brings you and He holds you accountable about your whole life, and then He asks you about that stage of youth. What have you done? The Prophet ﷺ ranked people, and he said that Allah Azza wa Jalla on the Day of Judgment is going to give shade protection to certain people. And from them, He said, شَابٌ نَشَأَ فِي عِبَادَةِ اللَّهِ, a young person that is raised, that grows up worshipping Allah Azza wa Jalla. The ibadah of Allah Azza wa Jalla. As we mentioned, one of the things that can happen is education, that you are educating yourself. But it's part of a bigger thing. This 3 years or 4 years of university is a small scale in a 15-year gap, which is your youth, or 15-year block, which is your youth. Have you ever thought about it, that today I am the strongest I will ever be, the youngest I will ever be, the smartest I will ever be, the most ambitious I will ever be? Because you go to someone that is 20 years, 30 years older than you, and they will tell you, one day I had an ambition of doing this. One day I wanted to do this. There was a time where I used to dream. And as you go later in life, you decide, are you actually living by those dreams, or are you slowly narrowing your eye to think that this is my lane, I'm going to stick in my lane, work my 9 to 5 and move on. You find anyone that thinks and wants to change the world and has that desire, usually they're young people. And then as people grow older, some of them stick to that same principle and same desire that I want to change the world. Others think, you know what, I want to do my 9 to 5 and go home to my house or whatever it is, I pay my mortgage, I live my life, and that's it. Don't get me involved in anything other than this age, this stage that people are through now, that you're going through it, is a stage of free time, little responsibility, and it's a stage of absolute freedom. People here, like I heard someone over there saying that they live in dorms and university halls. You don't even have that accountability from your parents. You have the absolute freedom. On a Wednesday night, there are parties. Leeds is known as a student city. There are a lot of parties around. You could decide that your parents may be back in Manchester, London, whatever it is. I'm going to go to a party. No one's going to know. How would they know? And then you could decide that the next 3 years, you're going to live a life, that you do whatever you want, enjoy it to the max within the society standards, and then after it ends, you're going to block this chapter of your life, block it from your memory, and move on. Move back to wherever you call home. People are not going to know. Everyone's just going to see that certificate, 2-1 first, whatever it is, and mashallah. And this is brothers and sisters alike, because people do that. They come to university, think, you know what, let me take off the shackles of family and live my life. But then we remember that Islamically there's something that ties us down. Allah Azza wa Jal said, Shabun, a young person that grows in the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal, or grows old in the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. And then you think, okay, what's the definition of worship of Allah Azza wa Jal? And it's a blanket statement. Anything that Allah Azza wa Jal likes, anything that Allah Azza wa Jal is pleased with, is the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. From the smallest of actions. The fact that you wake up and you think there's something haram, and I'm going to stay away and steer away from haram, and even I may not even necessarily enjoy the ice hockey events, but I'm going to come because there's good in it, and I'm going to stay away from whatever evil there is. And that in it is ajr. You may get bored from repetitive events, repetitive talks, whatever it is, but then you staying away from haram, there's ajr in it from you, and that's worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. You might find it difficult to walk across campus, come to the green room and pray. Education may take priority, and it should take priority because you are at university. Exams may start, you have to revise, you have to dedicate that. But that time that you stop for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal because you want to actually pray and prioritize your religion, that's time that you are worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal. That's time that you are in the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that's an important thing to learn. That this stage you will never get back. There isn't a minute that you will go back and actually be able to get back. And it's time for you to enlighten yourself, not just in an academic sense, but also in an Islamic sense. Because this time, this free stage that you have, is also like you notice from someone that is a professional. If you speak to a professional, they'll tell you, oh, you know what, now that I am working, I'm starting my day at 7, 8 in the morning, I'm finishing my day at 6, 7 in the evening. I wish I have time to go to Islamic talk. I wish I could pick up an Islamic course. I wish I could read a book. I wish I could start a YouTube series. And I was speaking to someone and said to me, the only time I have for Islam is when I can drive, when I drive my car. That's the only time. And if someone calls me, then that's it. My time for Islam is gone. I just have to listen to whatever series, whatever podcast I do, and that's the sound bites that they have for their life. But now, you're studying what, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day? You have the rest of the day. The question isn't, do you have the time? The question is, what are you going to do with that time? The first thing is time. Second thing is place. University is a place of ambition. There are people that come to university, the dream that I am going to change and transform the world. I'm going to get involved in every single opportunity that university throws at me. I'm going to be a person that they need someone to step up for ISAF to run an event. I'm going to run an event. I may have never run an event in my life. But I'm going to be the person that's going to learn. I'm going to put these events on. I'm going to make these mistakes. And then once I move back, once I move out of university, I have the experience to be able to facilitate this. You come to the SU, they need someone that's a sports officer. They need someone that's an international officer. They need someone that, whatever it is. You have a voice, and you know you have a voice, but you've not found that voice yet. You don't know what you think politically. You've not shaped your activist lifestyle, or whatever it is, your view. But you think, you know what? There's an opportunity that I am going to take it. Because these places, what, there's 1, 2, 3 positions open up every year, and then people take them out of thousands of people. And then other people, what have they learned from university? What have they gained? I've had a good time, I've got the certificate, I'm moving back. And above that, this is a place of academia. You will find that at the end, and this is with everything in life, at the end of a university degree, you may pull up 2 people, they may have the same grade, they both might get a first, and you say to them, what do you remember from your degree? Nothing. I just studied to pass an exam. My purpose was passing an exam. And then you will come to someone else, what did you study? They know everything. They understood it, they've given it that time, they've given it its due right. And this is where you hold people accountable, and only Allah Azza wa Jal holds people accountable based on their intention. But you see people's intention in this dunya, what it results to. People studying the same thing and may not be knowing the same thing. Same grade, similar, whatever it is, but the way they study is just different. Some of them have that short term, that I am not only going to pass this stage of my life without planning for the future stage. This university gives you a unique platform where you are brought so close to other organizations that the university will work as the university professors, university lecturers. They might have positions and hold positions with other companies. And they're always looking and thinking, okay, how can I benefit people? What people can benefit me in my career? Which individual? I'm speaking from experience, because from an engineering background, you will find that an engineering lecturer usually does lecturing part-time and will have 2 or 3 gigs with other companies. And this is where they think, okay, so this is an individual that's a bright, smart individual. You want a placement here? Come, I will recommend you. But then someone else is looking for a placement here, and you'll come after 2 years of education, and your lecturer will say, I've never seen you in my class before. You study this course. Like, someone should have told me you studied this course. But you choose what impression you want to make on people. The place is there, the campus is there. It's also a place of hobbies. That you have something, you're passionate about something. You may have chosen to pick medicine, but you're passionate about art. You're passionate about poetry. You're passionate about whatever passion you may have. You have the library, you have societies, you have places, you have an environment that allows you to experience that with others. Some people may be passionate about charity and work in charity, and then charity week comes around with the ISA. You do that charitable work, you don't have to commit to a charity. You don't have to go work for a charity. You just have that experience that you want to do something fulfilling, something rewarding, and this provides you with that platform for that passion. And then you want to follow through for the rest of the year, you want to fulfill that passion, this is the place for it. And above all, university is a place for companionship, for friends. You can research it, and it's statistically proven that people make the longest lasting friends in the university stage of their life. And you come and settle in, and you may have never seen someone. The only thing you have in common is that maybe you share a student hall, or maybe you share a lecture together, and you find that you have a lot of common interests, and that person could become almost like a brother or like a sister to you. And as you move on in stages of life, then some people also will come out of it and think, you know what, I'm coming to university, I've got my mind closed, I don't need any more friends, I've got friends where I come from, I have friends outside of the circle, and I'm not open to accepting any more friends applications, that's it. But the reality is you come here to meet people, and Allah Azza wa Jal commanded us to meet people. He said that we've made you different types, different nations, different colors, different tongues, you speak differently, you act differently, you dress differently. Why? Ta'arafu, so that you may get to know one another. You might start picking up practices of other people that you may have never thought of it. But the best of company is company that drives you towards something that is good. It's company that you are going to go through your highs, your lows, but company that is good for you is company that's always going to be there to drag you up. The best of company is that which is going to have you Islamically switched on. You as a Muslim, you know as a person, you know what, I've not seen this brother for 4 or 5 days. I've missed this individual in lectures, I've not seen them. You're going to keep an eye out for them. We always will have that extra dimension. You might be in a lecture with 300-400 people, but that Muslim that sits next to you, that person that you've seen at ISAC events that sits next to you, that person you're going to have a better relationship with them than any other person. Why? Because the connection of Islam is always going to be there. And inshallah, neither of you are going to leave the religion of Islam, so you're always going to have that relationship. But you choose people that when you are down, Islamically, when you are down within this life, when you are down educationally, whatever it is, there are people that are going to hold you down and say, listen, come on, let's go. Let's do this. There are people that you're going to revise for your exams with, and they're going to tell you, stop, it's time for salah. And there are people that you're going to revise for your exams with, and you want to pray, and you want to, you know what, it's time for salah, I'm going to miss salah, and they will drop the comment, oh, bro, you've not got time for salah. Like, you're going to revise, who's going to revise for the 15-20 minutes that you're going to pray? There are people that are going to be led away from the religion of Islam in the next 3 to 4 years because of the companionship that they chose. And this company that you choose, you have to be clear as a Muslim. Anyone that brings you close to Allah Azza wa Jal is someone worth investing time and effort with. And anyone that is going to drive you further away from Allah Azza wa Jal is someone that's worth cutting off. And at the end of the day, you are in the perfect place to find a replacement. You might work in a place and a working environment and it's only 2-3 Muslims in the company, so you're stuck with them. There could be the worst type of people, but you're stuck with them because you can't go and choose someone else. You might be in a rotation in the world, and these are the people out there. These are the Muslims. You don't have much of a choice in it. You can't handpick. But at university, you can cut someone and then find 20 other people around you. And that's the blessing of this place. or that's the blessing and the test of this place. That are you going to be, even with this given to you, this opportunity given to you, are you going to choose the right company, or are you still going to mess it up towards the end and regret? Because there's always going to be an element of regret, whether in this dunya, and you're going to have people that towards the end of the 3 years, they're going to say, ooh, I wish I sat next to that person. He's quiet, but he's smart. He's got his grades all right, he's got everything he needs. And there are people that are going to be at the end saying, you know what, I wish I didn't hang out with these people. I wish I didn't take the advice that first year doesn't matter. Because it matters, and we'll get to how it matters when we talk about the person. You as an individual, you as a student. You're going to go through a roller coaster of emotions over the next couple of years. You're going to go through something that you've never really felt like you've experienced in the education sector. As an individual, you've grown through what? School, primary school, secondary school, college, and it's always been structured learning. It's always been the onus been on the lecturers to make sure, or the teachers to make sure that they taught you, that you know, that you understand. But now all of a sudden, you are in a place, in an environment, it's your responsibility to learn. You want to fail, it's your £9,250 that's going to go down the drain. No one else is losing out, because you're replaceable to the university. Before that, by law, they have to teach you until college. They have to make sure that when you finish college, you finish with an education. You fail in college, it looks and reflects bad on the college. Their ranking, their rating goes down. You fail in university, ma'as salama, next. And it's just business. Don't take it personal. You decide who you want to be as a person. You decide who you want to be as an individual. There are things that once you're settling in, you have to look out for and you have to be aware of. One is who the people around you are, and what support is available around you. This is a good thing to always know. Familiarize yourself with the helplines before you ever need the help. What the chaplaincy looks like, who the chaplain is. What is a chaplain of the university? What help there is. Bismillah, there she is. Huge importance that you know that this is someone that you can use and you can rely on for help and support. And in this university, you have one of the best ones. Student helplines, the SU, what services do they offer? It's good things to know before you ever need them. Because once you need them, and once you feel like, you know what, I'm in my corner against the world, you need to have your exit strategy. You need to have your plan in place. And there are other things for you as a Muslim that you must never let go of. One is there's a difference maker between us, the Muslims, and everyone else. And the Prophet ﷺ told us, he said, Al-Farq, the difference between us and anyone else of any other faith or no faith or whatever they choose to call themselves, is salah, prayer. He said, whoever leaves it, then he's left the religion. What is salah? Salah is a relationship that you have between you and Allah Azza wa Jal. And for us as Muslims, we claim that the biggest thing and the most important thing for us is our religion. But then you evaluate yourself and your religion and your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal based on salah. The Prophet ﷺ, his companions, they were at a stage where they used to ask Bilal, who used to call the prayer, Bilal radiallahu anhu, say, call for the prayer so that we might find peace in it. They used to find tranquility, peace. They used to be, this is the most comfortable state they are at. Most of us as Muslims, if we really truly evaluate our salah, either we are between one of three states. We don't fulfill the salah. Fajr is way too early for me to wake up. I don't wake up for a 9 a.m. lecture. I am not waking up at 5 o'clock to pray. And that's people sometimes will tell you that. And even if people are not honest, everyone knows themselves better than anyone else. So if you think about yourself and you truly reflect, are you that person? Okay, maybe Fajr is too early. And then you think about it, Dhuhr it clashes with education. And it always clashes. Either 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock throughout the whole year. So you might clash with lectures. And then Asr, the way it swings around throughout the year, one day you're praying Asr at 2:45, one day you're praying Asr at 7:30, and you just like, you don't know what's happening. And Maghrib is changing around every single day, 2-3 minutes, either up or down. And then Isha usually clashes with meal times. You want to go out for a meal, you want to chill, this is the time. The lads that play football, anyone that plays football, this is the time. You want to book a pitch, this is the time that it clashes with. And then Isha, there's the dangers that there's a bit of flexibility. You can pray Isha till midnight. So people will be like, I'll pray it the last thing before I go to bed. But they're going to bed at 4 or 5 in the morning. So time for Isha has been extended all the way till that time. But as a Muslim, and then either you are praying it, or you're praying it and struggling, or you're praying it and you don't find the beauty of it. You feel like the Prophet ﷺ, you heard this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ saying that, let us find peace in salah. But then I don't feel like I find peace in salah. And it's a question that a lot of Muslims have, and you as a person will go through. Because this is a place where your identity will be questioned. Before, you were always baby, at college, at school, at university, college, at school, at primary school, at reception, you always looked after. You had an arm that looks around you that tells you what to think, how to think, when to move, how to move, what the plan is. Now it's your responsibility. And this is where you need to, as a Muslim, start discovering yourself and finding yourself, because you're between one of two states. People will think one of three states. You are never stagnant. You're either improving day on day as a Muslim, and your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal is better day by day, or your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal is worse day by day. And you'll have days that sometimes you feel like, oh, my relationship's taking strain with Allah Azza wa Jal, and I want it to improve, and you will make up for it. And that's why Allah Azza wa Jal gave us better timings throughout the year. So you have Ramadan, you have the last third of the night, you have Fridays. You need to be a person that is an active person and doesn't let go of certain things, doesn't compromise certain things, and especially not your salah. And then, as I said, you're never stagnant. Your salah is never the same. It's either an action that you have on autopilot and you're reading the exact same 5-6 surahs throughout the whole day, or you're discovering yourself. Why does Allah want me to pray? Why is Allah telling me to read Surah Fatiha, these 7 verses every single day, every single rak'ah? There has to be something in the surah Allah wants me to read. There has to be something in the dua, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, these things that Allah wants from me. And then you start finding yourself and improving yourself Islamically. These are certain things that you can never let go of as a person, as a Muslim, and you always have to do. And then the next thing, and the last thing I want to finish with, is this what brought us here today, is the ISOS. Islamic Society, I have a love-hate relationship with the Islamic Society. So I was a president of the Islamic Society for 2 years at my university, and then I was part of an organization called FOSIS, which is the Federation of Students of Islamic Societies. So it looks after all of the Islamic societies in the north. And the frustration with it is that sometimes you don't find what you want, and ISOS do not cater for everyone. And the reality of the matter is that you have 5-6 people, 5-6 students that are studying the same degrees as you are, that are sometimes having to go back and forth, visit their families. I used to live in Manchester and travel to Birmingham almost every other day to see my parents. And then I would have to make sure that I'm there for the events, and I'm the one that makes sure that events are happening. And then I have to come up with the idea of the event, because how am I going to know what sisters want to do this week? But the reality is that ISOC is here for you. It's a mechanism that's here for you, that is shaped by students and student experiences. This is an opportunity that so early in the year, September, and you still have 8 months of education, this is the time to think, okay, this is what I want from my ISOC. This is what I need from my ISOC. This is what I want my Islamic student experience to be like in the university. And then use the vehicle that is the Islamic Society to implement that. Whether it's by running for open positions that are there, and don't think, oh, I'm a fresher, this is the first, this is too early. No, throw yourself at the chance, throw yourself at the opportunity, which is a learning opportunity. And then the next thing is, if you don't feel like you want to get involved to that level, you have ideas, you have things that you think might be important to you, experiences that you might want to experience, activities that you might want to take part in. Use it through the ISAC. There might be other Muslim brothers and sisters that are waiting to go through the same experiences, are waiting for these events to be run by the ISAC. So it's your chance to promote this idea, promote this event, and then make sure that you're involved in it, and to whatever degree that you can. But the least that you need to do is make sure that you as a person are connected with the ISAC, familiarized with the people that are around you, what services they offer, what talks they offer, stay in the group chat, even if it's muted, and you check it every now and again. But preferably be someone that is active on the group chat and find your voice through Islamic societies and being a Muslim on campus. Jazakumullah.